Welcome to Season 2 of Aerolab Tech Talks. I'm Kelly Zwerch, CEO and co-founder of Aerolab Tech.
Hi, I'm Chris Morton, VP of Engineering and Research and Development at Aerolab Tech.
This season is going to be really exciting. Our plan is we are going to be talking about some of the pro teams, athletes, and the impressive results we're getting from the previous year. Another area that we want to talk about is we want to showcase some of the fitters that we're working with right across the U.S.
Like Jim Manton, Aerosports, for example.
Yep. And we're also maybe going to be talking to a lot of the European and German fitters that are coming on board. The third area that we want to talk about is the day of the life of some of the athletes that we're going through. So it's everybody from somebody who's maybe doing their personal best and getting ready for a triathlon race to maybe an Ironman qualifier.
Yeah. Someone maybe trying to go for that Kona qualification spot.
Yep.
Some either highly competitive age group athletes to even professional athletes.
Yeah. And then finally, we're actually introducing something called the Round Table. And our plan is to actually talk to some of the engineers with Zip, maybe Flow, Cycle, and some of the experienced people out of Europe that we're working with, the manufacturers. So it's going to be a very exciting season. Definitely stay tuned. We got a lot of videos coming out. And to start it off, I think what we should talk about is our technical training course.
So yeah, the Aerolab Performance Academy, this is an educational platform that we both and our team at Aerolab has felt is just absolutely important, and really important from the level of training fitters and coaches and engineers how to use our sensor properly, and also what kind of gains they can get by using the sensor and how they can work with their athletes to use the sensor in different ways, more so than the traditional ways that you might have heard of, which is just traditional aerodynamic testing you do in a wind tunnel. How do you bring it to a field and get better and better and better from there? So the level, I'll go through each of the levels progressively, and Kelly, it'd be great to hear your input as well as we go through. But level one, really, when you order one of our Aerolab sensors, you have to, it's a requirement to complete level one training. Level one training is just a basic 1 hour time investment in watching some of our key videos and answering some key questions to demonstrate your knowledge and that you understand how to use the technology and you can hit the ground running.
Yeah, and I think what we also want to get across is this is a certification. So you're actually going to get a level 1 through 5 certificate, as well as for the consumer to know you're going to get products and stickers to put in your shop to actually show them your progression in the skill set.
That's right. Yes. So when you're working with your Aerolab sensor, before you even receive it, you start with level 1. Level 1 is your basic training. This level 1 is going to tell you how to use the sensor. It'll tell you the steps that are necessary to take and the protocols you should take in order to run a really good aerodynamic test for your athletes. That ensures that when you receive that sensor, you already know what you need to do to make the first steps towards getting this product out the door and into with your consumers' hands, with your teammates' hands, and getting them using it.
And I think with the level 1, what we're trying to do is just compress the learning curve time, so it's really quick. You get a good understanding, so you're able to basically start working with your athletes and customers right away. So that's the real purpose of it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When you move to level 2, we consider this more of advanced learning. So the level 1, purely online learning system. Level 2 is also a purely online learning system. It's just a longer time investment, and we're moving to more advanced features. These advanced features that we want to cover really are all about making your athlete faster in the most efficient way possible. So as you work towards becoming an elite fitter or an elite coach when it comes to using aerodynamic sensors, you get to know what changes seem to work for certain athletes of certain body types and certain athletes of certain flexibility or skill sets or physiology.
Yeah, so you're actually taking what you know as a fitter from your studio into the field, because we know that the dynamics of those bikes are different. And the other thing too with this level 2 is, to write the level 2, you actually have to have a bit of time under your belt working with your customers, right? Yep. And so that's why that'll be introduced in the fall. So the level 2 will be available fall 2021 here.
Yeah, so this fall it'll be introduced. The other aspect of the level 2 training will include all kinds of ways in which an athlete might be manipulating test data without knowing it, and causing misconceptions around what this aerodynamic data means and how to interpret it. Other ways that the test data can be manipulated around the external environmental variables, how to gauge based on a certain day, what would be an effective test protocol, and issues that you might have with power meters as well.
Yeah, that's right. And so we're basically taking what we've experienced over the last 3 years and condensing it so that you basically get 3 years of experience in 3 hours.
That's right. Yeah. When we move to level 3, so level 3 is going to be our first in-person training symposium. And the training symposium is going to be a 2-day event. First day will be more in-class experience where you're effectively getting approximately 6 hours of in-class training. It's going to focus on an introduction to biomechanics and human physiology with expert fitters and experts in the field that will come in and do an introduction to advanced bike fitting, aerodynamic bike fitting.
Yep.
And then after that, after the in-class portion, we'll move to the field on the second day. And we'll do some real field testing with an expert user of one of our devices, working with a professional athlete. And this is going to give you hands-on real experience working with an elite level aerodynamic fitter. And it will also give you hands-on experience on tips and tricks when it comes to testing.
Yeah, and I think the tips and tricks are really important because, yes, you spent time, you've worked with a lot of your customers already getting them fitted, but it's best practices. We all know that sharing best practices only makes things better for everybody involved. So the tips and tricks are definitely something that's a strong situation there, and that's why the in-person training course really comes into play there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Part of the takeaways of that level 3 training, that level 3 certification or what we call an elite certification, is that you want to be able to come away from that, or our goal is to have you come away from that and understand the balance between aerodynamics of a rider and the comfort of a rider. And so as a fitter, you want to be able to optimize an athlete's aerodynamic performance without sacrificing their ability to hold that position when it comes to sustainability. So that's going to be a real true focus, which is why we're bringing in the biomechanics, the physiology, and the bike fitting experts.
Yeah, it's like a total efficiency of the rider, the bike, and everything there. So,
that's right.
So yeah, that inler. And so with that, our goal is to host two events in Europe and 2 events in North America.
Yeah,
for the level 3.
We anticipate that to be early 2022.
Yes. Yeah, probably winter.
From there, this is when we get into the area that I enjoy wholeheartedly. Personally, I enjoy the most, level 4, which is advanced aerodynamics and rolling resistance. So this is where I am imparting my knowledge as well as the knowledge of this current state of the art in the academic world as well as the practical industry world of cycling aerodynamics, fabrics, understanding skin friction, understanding flow separation, how to manipulate a rider so that you can actually control the airflow over the rider, and what are the physical mechanisms going on so that you actually understand what is changing in the actual airflow around the rider. Not just, it sort of gives you the why when it comes to why the CDA is changing or why the aerodynamic drag is changing. So that helps inform you as to what is effective.
Yeah, definitely. In the level 4, you're starting to learn about principles. You're starting to learn why things happen in a certain way. We know, generally speaking, what happens with aerodynamics, but now you're understanding the principles. So it definitely is something that's going to be a challenging course. And the reality is you're starting to now dive into getting highly technical. This is somebody for like pro teams, pro athletes, federations. You're starting to get to that level of skill. at that point with the level 4 for sure.
That's right. And to couple that with the aerodynamics knowledge, you'll also, in this level 4 expert level course, you'll be also getting an understanding of rolling resistance. And when it comes to rolling resistance, you might already have some understanding, but you'll understand how to use an Aerolab sensor device to measure rolling resistance and what the physical mechanisms are for what we call impedance breakpoint or impedance losses, as well as the concept of tire hysteresis, which is energy losses when the tire flexes and due to the inelasticity of that tire deflection.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly, and that's an expansion because we've already seen it. We want to get rid of some of the misnomers out there. Things like you really don't need yaw. Rolling resistance doesn't come in play. You can just fix a number to that. When the reality is that's not true. So it's also dealing with some of those misleading information that's out there in the general public in that whole realm.
Yeah. And then with that knowledge, you really are prepared to take on some of the most advanced features that we're currently developing, which no one has considered these yet, or if they are considering them, they're at their infancy. But this would come into the level 5 training, sort of that mastery level training, where now we're talking about team time trial performance. How do you use an Aerolab sensor to be effective at optimizing your riders in a team time trial? We're talking about sprint performance. How do you optimize a rider for sprint performance and lead outs when it comes to a cycling race? We're talking about a variety of things like that, these specific areas that are going to really help those elite national or international level pro riders.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that level 5 that's when you've kind of reached the pinnacle and knowledge base, and you have to put in your time. Let's be real, right? You've got to do your fitting, education. It is going to be a difficult course, but level 5 is really the pro teams. Technical people will be a level 4, level 5. Federations and so forth will be level 4 and 5. So that's definitely where, if you really want to excel, that's where you're going to strive with our technology. For sure.
So I think that covers the full scale of each level of this training platform that is already released. So the level 1 training is already out there. It's already available for anyone who orders an Aerolab sensor system. Level 2, like we said earlier, it's coming. It's coming in the fall. Level 3, early 2022. Level 4 is going to come immediately following that.
Yeah, I think level 4 will fall in the kind of like early fall, late summer. I think it's also the timing. We're timing it so that you can get your time in and working with the technology, because you're going to be required to do so many hours or fits and so forth with that and tests, and as well as you get to understand and absorb that. So that we're trying to also bridge the off season with our timing on the education systems.
Yeah, and this is something we're really excited about. We're going to be working with the top biomechanics experts that we can find, the top pro fitters we can find, the top coaches we can find, in order to ensure that the knowledge we're delivering and the platform we're delivering is going to be at a level that's going to help everyone, and it's going to benefit from it. Everyone is going to benefit from this kind of, let's call it like sort of a gold standard in how you approach aerodynamic testing with these types of sensors. Yeah,
definitely a gold standard in education. So hopefully this has been very informative. We tried to keep it relatively tight. It's definitely a good lead-in for our technology on 2021 here and beyond. And again, if there's videos that you want us to do, whether it's even some fun YouTube videos, definitely like us, put posts in saying, hey, I'd like to see this type of video. And we'll be totally into doing some of these projects for you, and definitely posting some fun videos. So stay tuned with that. And Any closing remarks, Chris?
Every walk counts, as usual.
There you go. Thanks for your time.